Thus far, it has been a year of surprises for the U.S. meat industry. First, fewer cattle went into feedlots than expected, and now broiler production has ramped up both here in Louisiana and nationwide. For many consumers, more chicken is a cheaper alternative to beef. Neil Melancon tells us why in this week's Bottom Line.
The Bottom Line is brought to you by the Cotton Board, strengthening the fiber of our industry, and by First South Farm Credit, financing rural America since 1933.
It was a big year for broiler production in 2012, and new estimates have increased both the size and value of broilers for last year. Those values have carried over into 2013 for broilers, while beef production has begun to slump. Broiler production for 2012 is now estimated at 37 billion pounds, up 97 million from the previous estimate. This is affecting this year's estimates as production for 2013 has been raised 1.5%, meaning that if everything remains the same, we'll outproduce last year's total just slightly. Now, the reason for this increase in broiler production is much the same as for beef. Heavier animals going to slaughter make more meat. The difference between the two, though, is that with faster gestation periods, broiler production can ramp up much faster, so not only will we see heavier weights for birds this year, we'll see more of them. With the shortfall in beef supplies likely to drive up prices for that meat, market forces will favor chicken as the protein of choice, especially as pork production in the U.S. has yet to catch up. The bottom line this week is that there is some good news for our poultry producers, Mike, who should see prices at about 95 cents per pound, a 10% increase from 2012.
And I know, Neil, that here in Louisiana we produce a lot more chickens than cows, and I know that trend is going to continue. Neil Melancon, thanks. And remember, you can listen to any of Neil's daily radio reports on the Louisiana Farm Bureau Agri-News Radio Network. For a list of stations where you can tune in or listen online, click on over to our website, twilatv.org, and look for the LF Barn link. That does it for this edition of This Week in Louisiana Agriculture. Next week, TWILA travels to Santa Barbara, California, as we follow a group of Louisiana farmers visiting the Golden State. California grows much of the nation's food crops, from pistachios to avocados and everything in between. But continued regulation there is threatening some farmers' ability to grow the very foods we all depend on. Until then, you can watch any of our stories from today's program or from past shows at our website, twilatv.org. For all of us here at This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I'm Michael Dana. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hope to see you again right here next week.